What's in the box?
Sin City, the original, is probably the coolest movie out there on the market right now as far as visual styles go. However, that may come to an end this weekend when Sin City 2 hits theaters. Now, this very unique visual style of both black and white, and then these splashes of striking, vibrant color. That unique visual style is what we're going to be incorporating into our food as we highlight the release of Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. So what we're going to be making today is Sin City signature blood splatter mojo chicken with black beans and white rice.
Here's what we need. When cooking rice, it's really important to have the proper ratio of rice to water, or else your rice just doesn't turn out right. The ratio that I use, and it works well for me, is 1 part rice, 2 parts water. The first thing we do is get our rice cooking, because that's going to take the longest. No special tricks here, it's just like cooking any other rice. Bring it up to a boil. As soon as it's boiling, bring it down to a simmer, cover, and let it sit. Before we start cooking, we're going to need to do a little bit of prep work. We're going to need 1/4 of our onion, 4 to 5 large garlic cloves, and we're going to need the leaves off of half of the bunch of cilantro. Once you have all that, we're just going to dice it all, which is really not something you have to watch. Now that it's all diced, take that cilantro and put it aside. We're going to use that later. And we have to prep our chicken. This is really simple. All we're going to do is sprinkle salt and pepper on both sides. Now it's time to start cooking. Take a skillet, put it on your stove over high heat. Into the skillet, add about 2 tablespoons worth of canola oil. Spread it around and make sure it gets hot. Once it's hot, we're going to sear off our chicken breasts. All this means is that we're going to put them in the pan and we're going to let them sit for about 1 minute on each side. After you've seared off your chicken breast, we're going to add in the onions and garlic that we diced earlier. Make sure you push it down into the pan, because if it's just sitting on top of the chicken, it's not going to cook. Next comes our Sin City signature blood splatter. Add 1/4 cup of red wine straight into your pan. You're going to let this simmer with the onions and garlic for about 45 seconds before we add our next ingredient. Which is going to be orange juice. Right after you've added about 1 cup of orange juice, we're also going to put in our herbs. We're going to sprinkle in about 2 tablespoons worth of oregano, 2 teaspoons worth of mint, and we're going to top it off with our fresh cilantro. This is the stuff that we diced earlier. Note though that we are not using all of what we diced, we're only using half. Once your herbs are mixed in, put a cover on your pan and let it sit. On high heat, they should be finished in anywhere between 5 to 8 minutes. Finally, we're going to turn our attention to our black beans. We're doing this last because they require the least amount of time. The only thing we have to prep for the beans is cutting this orange in half. First, we're just starting with a can of black beans. Pretty simple, but we're going to need a different tool. That's better. When you open up your can of black beans, there's going to be this liquid inside, and it's going to look like disgusting, murky swamp water. We do not want that, so we're just going to drain that out. Back at the stove, you're going to need another pot over high heat. Empty the can of beans right into the pan, and then juice 1/2 of the orange directly into them. Leave these on high and let them cook. They should finish the same time your chicken does. When your chicken is done cooking, uncover it and take it off the heat. Then we add our finishing touch, which is a spray of lime juice right over the top. By this time your rice should be close to finished, but make sure you check it with a spoon to make sure it's done, because just grainy rice is just the worst. We're going to top our rice with a very liberal amount of lime juice. And we're also going to add in the rest of that cilantro that we didn't use earlier. Once this is all mixed together, it's ready to go. Now all that's left is just to serve yourself dinner.
And it's about damn time if you ask me.